Hi everyone. This is gonna be the last video. I'm gonna talk about nature's physics or physics from nature's perspective or from a God perspective. I'm the nature. I represent God, or I'm the God messenger. And I talked about Schrodinger's cat, or I summarized Schrodinger's cat in the last video, and now I'm gonna the last one I'm gonna talk about the so-called entanglement or superposition. See, they all sound similar, right? Live or dead, superposition, entanglement. It's really just a pairing, and this sort of thing is everywhere in our life. People, certain example people used more often is like a pair of shoes, a pair of gloves, or a pair of twins, maternal or not, and so on, and of course light, a certain gee, I lost the term. A certain wave anyway. Certain lights and vibrate differently. And oh, and also electrons. Electrons also spin differently, and so on and so forth. All these pairings, and I personally prefer the magnet because this magnet pairing, the pairing of South and North Pole, is unseparable or inseparable. So far, we can't do that yet. Anyhow, all these things, somehow they made it at all, a physicist made it at all so mysterious. And there's so many human factors in this, and there are also many human beliefs in it. Baseless, senseless belief. For example, the collapse. Things can collapse. Okay, it's a distribution, or it's a string, and you can touch it, or you can measure it. Once you did, it will collapse into one point. How the heck is that gonna happen? When it could be here and could be here, and all of a sudden it only here. Does that violate the speed of light? Does that is that an example of a super or exceeding the light of a speed of light speed? So the distribution is not. It could be here or here. Think about it. Okay, then there's another issue. Somehow they think entanglement cannot be used to communicate information. And to them, communicate information is like throwing a stone or firing a bullet. The other side must got something tangible, or a pound of meat or something, a mess. Only that can be called or defined as communication. It, it, I don't get it. I'm gonna tell you in this last video of God's physics, nature's physics. I'm God, I'm nature. I'm gonna tell you entanglement can be used to communicate. Before I tell you that, I'm gonna have a little fun with our physicists. You see, when you say something can be done, CAN, it's relatively easy, logically speaking. You just make one, right? You think flying is possible, then you build a plane. You're right, brother, and then done. However, if you say flying is not possible, that is rather difficult to prove. In this case, you say entanglement cannot be used to communicate, or in a human communication. It's rather a faith. It's a religion. Because you say, oh, when that happened, it's exceeding the speed of light. Therefore, it's wrong. The collapsing, the distribution of electrons, the cloud of electrons, there's already exceeding the speed of light, or in a distribution form, of course. So now, what else it cannot be? It has been proven can be done. Cannot be done. CANNOT. I guess it's a perpetual machine. There is also based on the belief of a conservation of energy. Belief of the three-dimensional energy. As I said earlier, the energy has a dimension factor or a variable. Force has a dimension variable. There is not only three-dimensional mass and three-dimensional force. There could be four-dimensional force and two-dimensional force. If we could somehow harvest four-dimensional force into our three-dimensional space and push three-dimensional mass, four-dimensional force to us is infinite. So there you go, perpetual machine. Of course, perpetual doesn't have to be actually perpetual, right? I mean, 1,000 years is long enough. I would say 1 year is long enough, especially if that machine could generate electricity for you, could do work for you. That's good enough. All right, now I'm going to tell you how the entanglement can be used in communication. Actually, for this, ancient Chinese people have done it many times. They done this quite often, actually. For the reason of Chinese writing is complicated, therefore it's difficult to communicate simple signals. You could think of the blind language is called Braille, right? Braille. You could think of a Braille. Chinese will never invent Braille because Chinese writing is too hard to touch, and versus letters. Letters, the fingers touch can replace the eye's vision, because letters is relatively speaking is easier to recognize through touching. and a Chinese character is going to be more difficult by touching. Anyway, here now I'm going to tell you how entanglement going to communicate through English language. If you want to communicate a, say, letter A to a far away place, you build two entangled whatever. You put it in a box, you mark it as A. And then you put it in another box, entangled element into another box marked as A. You gave it to whoever. And he's going to take on a trip to the far end of the universe. You get my drift? So you build a machine has many these boxes, all marked with certain letters. And you keep one, and that person keep one, and take it to his trip and too far into the universe, way beyond, say, light year. And you collapse some. You want to tell him, have lunch. You clap H, you clap A, you clap V, you clap E. Collapse, I mean. Then the H, A, V, E boxes over there, light years away, on his machine, gonna be collapsed at more or less the same time. Do I need to finish spelling this? You smart physicists. Open your mind. Your mind is so fixed. Fixation of a brain is a dead brain. Already, I'm done. I'm done with nature and God. Bye. Hopefully, I'll find some other topics to speak in English. Bye.